We all talk about chasing a dream, right? But what if the whole way we think about it is just wrong? What if a dream isn't some destination we're running towards?
And this idea, it changes everything. It suggests that if your dream doesn't have a pulse, like right now in this very moment, then maybe it isn't really alive at all. And this isn't just some nice-sounding metaphor. For one person, this was painfully real.
Think about that. For over 3 years, 1,247 days, a filmmaker was convinced his dream was dead and buried. He actually held a funeral for it. And what he learned in that time reveals a really powerful truth about what it takes to bring a dream back to life.
Yeah, when I say he buried it, I mean he literally buried it. He took an old shoebox, scrawled world-famous filmmaker on it, and dug a hole in the ground with a plastic spoon. But here's the crazy part. He didn't feel sad. He felt relieved. An overwhelming sense of relief. How does that even happen?
Well, it's because for him, the dream had become this heavy piece of luggage he was dragging around everywhere. It was just this exhausting burden. The goal, it turns out, is for your dream to be like your own skin. It's just a part of you, not a burden, but who you are, right now. And that distinction, that's the whole secret.
So that's the big question, isn't it? Is your dream heavy luggage, or is it your skin? To figure that out, we're going to walk through 3 little diagnostic tests from this story to help you check your dream's pulse.
All right, test number 1 is what he calls the tattoo. And it's all about radical, almost brutal simplification. The challenge is simple. Can you shrink your dream down so small it could literally fit on your wrist?
Here's how it works. You have to boil your dream down to just 3 words. And here's the kicker. They have to be nouns. No I want to be or one day I will. Just the raw essence. For the filmmaker, after he cut away all the fat, all the ego, his tattoo is just 3 words. Films heal humans. That's it. That's the heartbeat.
And that's a tough one, right? It really makes you think. So I'll ask you, if you can't get it down to 3 words, is it really a focused dream? Or is it more of a vague, heavy wish list you're carrying around?
Okay, so once you've got your tattoo, it's time for test number 2, invisible reps. And this one is all about what you did today. Not the stuff you post online, but the work you do when nobody's watching.
See? Even when his dream was supposedly buried, this guy was still quietly editing $50 wedding videos in the dark. He called these his invisible reps. And here's the massive insight he had. When you log just one tiny action every single day, the work itself becomes the win. You stop needing likes or applause to feel like you're making progress.
This really highlights the huge difference between decorating a dream and actually dreaming. Decorating is, buying the domain name, making the business cards, endless planning. It feels super productive, but it doesn't actually produce anything. Dreaming, that's just doing one invisible rep. Today, that's what builds real value, from the inside out.
All right, all of this leads us to the 3rd and final test, and honestly, this one's the most powerful. It's called the one message filter. And it wasn't some thought experiment, it was born from a real-life high-stakes moment.
So get this, on day 1,247 of his dream being dead, he gets a call. A tiny nonprofit needs a video to help prevent teen suicide. The budget? A measly $300. He shoots the whole thing on his phone, uploads it at 2 a.m., and thinks nothing of it. He wakes up to 2 million views. But it wasn't the views that mattered. It was one message. One message that came in from a teenage girl that read, and I'm quoting this directly, "Your video was the last tab I opened before I closed the roof." Just wow. In that single moment, his 3-word tattoo, "Films heal humans," it wasn't just an idea anymore. It was real. And that brings us to the final question. Test number 3. I want you to ask yourself this, and just go with your gut. If your dream never, ever paid you a single cent, would you still do it, just for the chance to get one message like that one? Your immediate answer tells you everything you need to know about your why. So when you can pass these 3 tests, you have this incredible realization. The dream was never dead. It never went anywhere. The only thing that changed was its address. Think about it. The dream's address moved. It moved from some trophy way off in the future to a living, breathing heartbeat right here in the now. It shifted from being all about me and what I could get, to being about you and what I could give. And it went from a foggy someday to a very specific what's today's rep. And here's the punchline to the whole story. The dream was never actually in that shoebox underground. The dreamer was. He was the one who was buried.
Buried under perfectionism, buried under waiting for a bigger budget, waiting for the perfect moment to let his dream out into the world.
Look, at the end of the day, this whole story leaves us with a really direct challenge. The world doesn't need another someday story. It doesn't need another dream that's gathering dust. It needs your heartbeat. It needs what you can create and upload today. So, what's your move?